Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? This is a beautiful sunset overlooking San Diego State University. And this is Ryan Claytor coming to you from my graduate advancement exhibition. And I thought I would take you through the show right now. So we're walking into the gallery right now, and let me zoom out here so you can see it. This is the title wall for my exhibition. I'm not sure if you can read it or not. The letters say, "A Graduate Advancement Exhibition by Ryan Claytor, Autobiography in Comics." And just to the right of that, you'll see my artist statement for the show. And moving a little further to the right, you'll see the exhibition list. So each one of the pieces themselves are numbered in the bottom right-hand corner, and that number corresponds to a number on this sheet that you pick up. So there's the flyer for the exhibition, the front and back side. And the first piece you come to is an introduction, and this is going to be published as the introduction for the Collected and Then One Day, Volume 1. I'm going to be compiling the first 4 books in my And Then One Day autobiographical comic book series, and this is going to serve as the introduction for the entire book. And moving along this wall, you'll see some additional pieces of original artwork, which were all featured in the first 4 books in the series. And on this following wall, you'll see several books lined up on these podiums. The first 4 are the handmade original first 4 books in And Then One Day series. And alternating, you'll see some original artwork and letterpress print. So here you have the first book, followed by the original artwork for the exhibition flyer. Then the second book, and this is a limited edition letterpress print. The third book, another print. The fourth book, yet another print. This is the 20-panel narrative featuring my dad and I, and this is the 5th book. This is a larger piece of original artwork. It's about 2 feet by 1 foot. And this was actually translated into a door piece, which now hangs in M Theory Music in Mission Hills, subsection of San Diego. And this is an entirely handmade book. It's hardcover, and it's watercolor and pencil and ink, and kind of describes my introduction to the medium of comics. On the next wall, we have the quilt piece, which tells a story of my grandmother and I growing up together and kind of her progression through old age. As you can see on this wall, give it a little bit more breathing room than the rest of the pieces, just so it could kind of stand on its own, give you some time to go through that. And then finally, we have this very large piece which features individual pages from And Then One Day number 6, which has yet to be published. Basically, this is a big series of interviews. Each one of these pages features different people in my life. I was doing some research in autobiography and found this theory which states that autobio is no more truthful or valid than fiction, which kind of got me thinking, well, what would make it any more truthful or valid than it already is? because essentially autobiography is one person's subjective opinion about themselves. So I started gathering different people in my life, anyone from new acquaintances to longtime friends to parents to ex-girlfriends, not necessarily all people who would say glowing things about me, because I was, again, trying to go for objectivity and kind of lend a more truthful or valid sense to autobiography. So once I gathered these people, I would give them a box of questions, a literal box of flashcard type questions that they would open up and look through one at a time and answer each question as they came to it. I gave them this box of questions and a tape recorder and put each of them in an isolated room. I was not present so that I would not influence their answers to the questions about me. And then I took those taped interviews and transcribed them and turned them into comic book form. And this is going to be the next book, and then one day number 6. These are 90 of the pages for the book. When it's all said and done, there will be well over 100 pages for the next book. But I like the layout of this in the gallery because it kind of gives you this overwhelming feeling that you see when you first approach it, which is similar to what I was experiencing and going through all these different responses that people had to these questions about myself. So I think that lends a nice sense to this piece when you approach it from afar, but then when you get in closer, you can, stop and read each one of these individually if you like. So that's the gallery. Hope you guys enjoyed your virtual tour through the space here, and maybe you'll get a chance to stop by and see it. If you didn't, hope you enjoyed this little videotape, and hope to see you around. All right, bye-bye.